So you think Jake Paul's gonna take
Nate Diaz?
Diaz, yeah.
Like I said, you're never gonna have a good boxer beat a good UFC guy. The next transgender that finesses himself into a fight, I'm gonna finesse myself into that fight too as a transgender. A man that calls himself a transgender woman that goes into female sports.
Bud Crawford, Errol Spence. Didn't quite go how he was expecting. What was your thoughts on it?
It didn't go quite go how who expected.
How I expected it.
All right. First of all, I had no expectations. I kept saying it's a 50-50 fight. But deep down, I knew that Crawford was better, you know? Crawford got way more tools in his arsenal. And Crawford is a more dynamic fighter. Here's the thing. Spence is a bigger guy. So typically a bigger guy, they're going to be limited with what they can do because a lot of what carries them through these fights is their strength, their dominance, right? And Spence is a one-dimensional fighter. He just moves forward, fundamentally sound, but he has no magic, no real punching, not punching power, but hand speed. He just has excellent timing. He does hit hard. He can crack. He breaks orbital bones and knocks people out cold. So he hits hard, but he's not dynamic. You know what I'm saying? And he gets caught and he brawls, right? And Crawford is a complete weapon. Smaller guy, moved up in weight, so he had to develop more tools. And here's the thing. Spence might be bigger, but Crawford had a longer reach. 2 inches, that's substantial. That's like that makes a difference, right? So if I'm Crawford and I'm standing to where I can throw my punch the furthest, right? He can't hit me, you know what I'm saying? So that's the thing, and Crawford's IQ is just incredible. Not just his IQ, both of them have high boxing IQ, but Crawford just has way more skills. It's that simple.
What's next? Who's next for Crawford? Does he stay in the weight class and defend it and become the most dominant, or go up one?
Next, well, he's already cleared it out because him and Spence were the champs. So he's the champ. He's the undisputed. That's it. The undefeated, undisputed welterweight champ, undisputed super lightweight as well. So 2 division. No one's done that before. Only other person that's done that is Clarissa Shields. And
We'll
she's a female.
We'll get to her.
Yeah. So now, what's next for him? Run this back, because that was a big payday, a huge payday, right? And it's going to be another huge payday. He's going to beat him again. I don't see any possibility of Errol Spence beating Crawford, but they have a rematch clause. I'm sure Spence will exercise that because Spence is a dog. He's a real man. He didn't back down at all. He moved forward the whole time. So you got to give him credit for that. I feel like they're gonna run it back. So the same thing gonna happen. Now, Spence is great, like Crawford's great, right? But this fight was one-sided. He beat him decisively every round. Something deep inside me feels like maybe Spence can overturn that, right? And do it to him, which I doubt, but you never know. Now,
you think Spence just was unprepared because he'd never seen anything like it before?
I know he's never seen nothing like it, but Spence has beat some really talented fighters. He beat Porter barely. I'm gonna say that, barely. Spence beat Ugas, who's incredible, and Spence fucked him up. Spence beat Kell Brook, who's a fucking problem, and he beat him in his prime. He went to London and beat him, took his title. That was very impressive. Broke his orbital bone. You know what I mean? Spence beat some bad dudes, so I don't know what it was. A lot of people say it's the accident that he had. I don't think it's that, because he's fought Ugas since then, and Danny Garcia and all of that. So I don't know. So next for Crawford, run it back with Spence. He should beat Spence again. And then after that, just run it down. Whoever's in welterweight. Boots Ennis, that's like the next guy.
Do you think Ennis is ready for him, or you think he's still young?
Yeah, he's ready for him. He's got 30 fights, 30-0. He had the same amount of fights as Spence.
But the talent level he hasn't fought the talent level
that's true. But you gotta jump in at some point. And look, you a fighter. This is what we do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It ain't like he's 15-0. He's 29-0, so he's ready. It's time.
Yeah.
Get it. He might win. He might do good. I don't know. I haven't followed Enos's career that close.
Yeah.
So I can't say. But I don't see anybody beating Crawford. He's like a perfect fighter. So smart, so in shape, hit hard, precise, crisp, and he has a myriad of offense. He has so many different forms of attack, which is, is impressive.
Is he pound for pound the best fighter right now?
In my opinion, 100%, absolutely, without question. He'll go up. He's talking about going up to fight Charlo. I like Charlo too, but Charlo and Spence, the Charlo brothers and Spence, they got a very similar style. Very just basic, excellent. They dogs like Hagler. Move forward, but that's it. There's no dynamics to it. You know what I mean? Crawford got magic to his. He's got finesse. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Like
Mayweather had finesse and magic. You know what I mean? So they don't have that. They're more robotic, basic, excellent. I love the Charlos, and I love Spence. I love Crawford too. But the style is more like a Holyfield or a Hagler type of just move forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Whereas Bud is angles and just real dynamic attacks. And he's smart. He's countering you all day long. He's not being aggressive at all. He's just calculating. And they all move forward. Charlos and Spence just move forward. And that can be a hindrance.
You think you saw what happened with Charlo and Plant, right?
Yeah.
After the fight?
Yeah.
You think that was legit? You think they're just trying to sell a fight?
No, that was legit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on it?
Plant gonna get f***ed up. That's what. Plant gonna get f***ed up.
Yeah.
He's going to get f***ed up. Here's the thing, bro. Cats is they're all boxers, right? But boxing is a sport. That ain't fighting. That ain't street fighting. That ain't street shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Plant done dipped his toe into some street shit. Guaranteed. That was a mistake.
Yep.
Facts. Big facts.
Boxing's in a good place right now. You agree?
Boxing's in an excellent place, bro. You're right.
Yep.
Yep.
Speaking, let's go back to.
Hold on.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this too. Spence was talking about fighting Canelo. That's off the table.
Yep.
Maybe for right now, but maybe down the line. But I can see Crawford going up and fighting Canelo and whooping that ass. And I love Canelo, but Crawford's the real deal. He's the truth. Think about Canelo got his ears boxed off by an older Floyd Mayweather. Crawford would eat Canelo's lunch.
Yep.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And Canelo showed he don't really got the power after he fought.
He got power. Don't say that. But Canelo's a little bit.
He has power, but not what we thought it was.
He cannot.
Right?
He cannot stand up with. He cannot beat Crawford.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you right now. He couldn't beat Mayweather. Mayweather's a dynamic boxer, and Mayweather didn't even fight him with all his weaponry.
Yeah.
Crawford got everything. I think Crawford would knock out Canelo.
At this point in their career, is Crawford just as good or better than Mayweather at the same respective points in their career? When Mayweather was here, Crawford's here.
Yeah, I say so.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you give him the edge?
I didn't give him the edge. I say just as good.
Okay.
I don't know if he's
not better.
I don't know if he's better. But I would need to sit back and analyze it a little bit more. Analyze his opponents versus Mayweather's opponents. Because Mayweather fought some bad dudes. And Mayweather was just a little bit more flashy. So it appears to be better. Excuse me. And he talked a lot of shit. And he marketed himself like none other. You know, these guys are getting big money now. But Mayweather was getting big money for a long time because he marketed himself well.
Yeah.
That was Spence's biggest payday. You know Spence's biggest payday before that? I looked it up.
Ugas?
But do you know how much? $1.8 million.
That's it. Dang.
Mm-hmm.
That's nothing.
And Crawford's biggest payday was $10 million before that. Crawford was getting big money. And I'm going to tell you why. He took a page out of Mayweather's book. He got away from a promoter and promoted himself.
Yeah.
That's what these guys need to do. That's when they get money because they got to respect them. You're not paying the promoter. You're the promoter. You're the businessman. You know?
Do you like to, we'll stay here for a little longer, do you like the cross compatibility when boxers or UFC fighters come in and try and box?
Not really.
Even though the draw
it's
is
not,
there?
You're never going to have a good UFC fighter beat a good boxer in boxing.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. So just like you're not going to have a good boxer beat a good UFC guy in UFC.
So you think Jake Paul's going to take, what's his name this weekend?
Nate Diaz?
Diaz, yeah.
Like I said, you're never going to have a good boxer beat a good UFC guy. Jake Paul's not a good boxer.
You don't think he's good at all? Like,
absolutely not.
Okay.
He's not. He's not good, bro. He's trash. He's trash. He's better than like. Now he can knock out some MMA guys, because boxing and MMA is so different. The fundamentals of boxing is crazy. It's different. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he has somewhat of a fundamental, not really, but kinda, you know. And he got a little bit of heart, but he's trash as a boxer. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But hey, I take my hat off to him because he's running up the bag. I respect it. I'm like, fuck it.
So you're taking Diaz this weekend?
I don't really care about that shit at all. I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I literally have zero interest. I'm not into Diaz. I'm not into that fight. You know, I kind of like Jake Paul though. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie. As his brand,
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But
you think his brand is good for boxing? His promotion style.
His brand is good for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not good for boxing. It's good for him. He can say that, but it's not. And it's good for like maybe Amanda Nunes. No, not Amanda Nunes. I forget the woman's name that's signed to him as a boxer. She's a boxer. She's good. That helps her. It's not helping boxing.
Right.
Maybe a boxer on his undercard, but at what cost? You're making some money, but you're on Jake Paul's undercard. It doesn't look good as a bona fide fighter. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's kind of like, it's cool, but See, that's the thing though. Some people, like money, they have an opportunity, say they have an opportunity to be on his undercard, right? They might be excited about that. They have no confidence that they can go out and get that kind of bag on their own without him, or fight him. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
You see, I'm trying to set something up here. Cause I'll fight him. You know what I'm saying? But on his undercard, that's goofy. Like, fuck out of here with that shit. Like a real fighter, that's goofy. You ain't gonna find no real guys with successful careers fighting on his undercard. That's not gonna happen. Maybe if they're old and out the way and need a bag, but bag. I'm so sick of people talking about money, to be honest. Money is out there, get it. But at what cost? You know? People have no boundaries on what they will or won't do for money. And that's kind of like, you know, when I see people making certain moves for money, I store it up here. I'm like, okay, that's who you are. Yeah. Let's just keep it going, keep it moving.
Let's talk about Shields. You think she's making money moves, or she's just part of the sport?
Clarissa Shields?
Yep.
Oh, that's my dog. That's my homie. I love her to death. She's the GOAT, the greatest woman of all time, boxer, right? And she does MMA. She went into that. The issue with women boxing is the money is not nearly like the men boxing. They have shorter rounds, so there's no knockouts really, right? Because sometimes you need time to break a person down. They have 2-minute rounds, so that kind of hinders them to an extent. The money's just not there like that, you know? So it's interesting. She called out Keith Thurman.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild. Now look, I know she's knocked out some dudes and beat some dudes' asses training and sparring. I got other homegirls who's fucked up a dude or two. You know what I mean? Women typically spar with guys only, right? So I don't know how hard these guys are going, if they're going full on. But for her to say she can whoop Thurman, I don't know. Hey, I'm not gonna say she can't, because what if she can? I'm not the biggest Keith Thurman fan as a fighter, but he is good. He's world champion medal, you know. Thurman's is a dog, but I don't know. That shit would be so fucking wild if she could beat him, if they fight and she beat him.
So you heard that he said he would do it for like a charity event, right? Like he put it on for charity.
I did hear that.
Is that like a scapegoat? Because if he goes in their charity and gets knocked out, it's like
It would never be a real fight.
Right.
It's illegal. Maybe they can modify rules, I guess, but they don't put men and women to fight.
Yeah.
Unless you a transgender maneuver his way in, which is fucking lame. It's so fucking lame. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The next transgender that finesses self into a fight, I'm gonna finesse myself into that fight too as a transgender, and I'm gonna fight him. Like, you thought you was gonna fight a woman? Let's run it. You know what I'm saying? Whoop that ass. That shit's so goofy. It's so goofy. These are men that want to fight women. What the fuck? Men that want to swim against women. Men that want to race against women. you are such a pathetic, like schmuck. These are schmucks. A transgender man a man that calls himself a transgender woman that goes into female sports is a schmuck. He can't compete against other men. So he has to compete against women. How are you proud of that? You feel me? How are you proud of that, right? He's a schmuck. Fuck those guys. You don't see women transitioning to men, getting into men's sports to fight guys. They don't. It's not even logical, right? You also don't see women transitioning to men, going into men locker rooms or men bathrooms.
Right.
It's these creepy ass dudes, creeps, right? And this is being allowed. What the fuck? This is why we need a dictatorship in this country. 20 years, that's it. That's all I need is 20 years. I get this shit turned around.
Get it turned around?
I have it turned around.
What's your thoughts on like biological women who are skilled enough to compete against men wanting a chance to compete in, I know college is the big thing. You're starting to see like women are playing on football teams.
Women are playing on male
football teams.
And how are they doing?
It's just started. You know what I mean? Haven't got a first look at it yet.
We shall see.
Are you into that, or you think
I'm not into that?
It should be separate.
I'm not into that. I think it's not fair. I think it's not. No knock to women, but I don't think women can compete with men in men's sports unless it's pool or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like something like that. Golf, maybe. Maybe not even golf. I don't know.
Yeah. Tennis?
No, not even tennis. Nah. Pool, marbles, cards. You know what I'm saying? That's weird. And these are women that want to compete against guys?
Yep.
Fascinating. I'll compete against women in mud wrestling. Yeah. I do that.